Hello and welcome to our virtual time clock training series. In this video, we'll be covering how to set up the clock-in shift rules. Now, these rules ensure that employees are clocking in according to their designated shift. That eliminates early punches and overtime from adding up. So let's go ahead and get started. With virtual time clock open, we're going to go to File, turn Administration on. And then from the toolbar, we're going to choose Configure and go to the Shift Rules window. Now, this is where you've probably already set up your own shifts, and you can designate the start and stop time. And then we have other videos that cover how to assign these to employees and set up the lunch rules and the clock out rules. But again, in this video, we're just going to focus on the clock in rules tab. All right. So this is, again, a 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. shift. So let's start with this first rule here, the courtesy early start. Now, as I go through these, instead of logging into user mode and showing you how these work every time, I just create some screenshots and we'll look at those so you can see what employees would see with these rules in place. So again, this first one, courtesy early start, acknowledging shift start time. This means that when employees come to the time clock, they'll see a message right here that allows them to clock in early, but they are acknowledging that they're going to start work when their shift begins, in this case at 1 p.m., and then they can clock in. And then their time cards won't say the early time that they were there for. It'll actually read 1 p.m. on their time card. This is a kind of a way to allow some flexibility for employees to clock in a little bit early without it counting as overtime or something like that. All right. So the second rule, prevent early shift start a number of minutes before the shift begins. So kind of just like it sounds, if you turn this on, you can select a number of minutes that you want employees to clock in within. If they try to clock in earlier than that, it will prevent them. Let me go ahead and apply this, and that would look like this. So the rule will say, the window will say, when they try to punch in, the window will say, it's too early to clock you in. Please clock in within 5 minutes of your, again, 1 p.m. shift start. Now, if you want to completely prevent employees from punching in early at all, you would use a setting of 1, which will prevent employees from punching in even 1 minute early in this case. All right. The next rule, prevent late start. Again, just like it sounds, it prevents employees from punching in after their shift time. So for example, if I put in 5 minutes here, the rule, when they go to punch in, it would say it's too late for you to clock in. You're more than 5 minutes late for, again, my 1 p.m. shift. And then a manager or an administrator can always log in and clock them in, but allows you to kind of stay in the loop when people are punching in late. All right. And then the last rule here is the prevent start if shift will exceed rule. So if I enable that, for example, maybe you want to know if employees would be hitting overtime in this shift. So you can set will exceed 40 hours for the week. And so that'll basically take into account that this is a 1 to 6 p.m. So if in the next 5 hours this person would hit 40 hours, then they'll be prevented from punching in. And that would look like this. So you can't clock in, you're going to exceed your 40 hours for the week. And then again, they can see a manager or an administrator, get them clocked in. Doesn't mean they can't work that day, just means they have to get somebody else in the loop. So that's how the clock in rules work. For information on the lunch rules and the clock out rules, go ahead and visit our knowledge base. If you have additional questions about virtual time clock, please visit our website to give us a call or send an email to service@redcourt.com.